Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Rue Morgue TV. I'm Executive Editor Andrea Subasati with Dante and a very special guest, Sarah Blostein, a.k.a. Bloodstain, who is a Jackal artist.
Oh, I like that. Although it does kind of make me sound fat. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Call what it is you do.
I call myself a pumpkin artist or a pumpkin sculptor. Yeah.
And as an example, Bloodstain has brought us, check out this Nosferatu. This is half complete, and so Sarah is going to be working on it while we chat. Do you want to maybe get us started?
You're definitely right about the Jackal Lantern. These guys do not get lit from within. It's more about lighting it from outside and seeing the shadows. I usually start with a peeler, a good wide peeler, and I just get all the skin off the front. The part that you really have to get your head around is that none of these are added on.
Right. So you need to dig down. You need to kind of get into the negative space.
Yeah, and you have to remember not to dig too much too fast, or there's your nose is gone or your eyes are gone, that kind of thing.
So it's legit carving, like sculpting, like the way you would out of stone.
Yes, but much squishier.
And I guess you also have to worry about breaking through to the inside of the pumpkin.
Yeah, you've got two things working kind of against you. You've only got, depending on the pumpkin, about like half an inch to 2 inches worth of meat there. And it starts to really hash brown as you get down there. Like, you'll start taking out chunks and it gets really sort of spindly and dry.
Is there like a certain breed or species of pumpkin that is best for sculpting?
Absolutely. So a favorite among pumpkin sculptors is the wolf pumpkin.
Okay.
It's got a really thick stem. It's really heavy, and that's actually how you can tell if you've got a thick pumpkin. If it's heavy for its size, it's got more flesh in there.
It's got more flesh in there as opposed to seeds and guts and stuff. I guess that makes sense. So what do you look for? Like, what made this a perfect pumpkin for Nosferatu?
I look for a stem with personality. I really love that, which is why I love going to a pumpkin patch to actually pick it out.
Right.
Because when you buy them in the store, they
clip them.
Yeah, they kind of like neuter them. So you want to go with the fleshy sides.
What's an easier shape for beginners to start with if they wanted to start out trying to sculpt a pumpkin as opposed to carving?
A lot of people like to start out with the etched pumpkins, which are the ones where it's not a cut through all the way.
Right.
But it's like it glows through the skin. So you go in and hollow out the inside. Yeah. And then you use something like this, like one of those speedball lino cut tools. You can get these at pretty much any art store. It's like a little chisel and you just kind of gouge.
Yeah. All right, so this is one that we love because it's nice and heavy. It's got a really interesting this thing going on. So something that I run into when I'm carving pumpkins is you've got to use the right thing to map it out, because I've used Sharpie and then it doesn't wipe off and it like colors the flesh inside. What do you use?
I actually just discovered this after God knows how many years, but watercolor pencil.
Watercolor. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just like a pencil crayon, but the second that it gets wet, you can... No, it's not going to do it, but yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, you've got a lot of household items lying around, I can see.
Yeah, so if you don't necessarily have, sculpture tools, these are also useful for... Oh, not that one. For eyeballs.
Hey! Melon balls.
Yes. Just a little Brillo pad.
And it takes it right out?
Yep, and it will also get rid of those little scratchy hatchy marks, which is sort of like the big secret of how do you get it so smooth? Let's go emoji.
Hey, imagine we need some reference material to get started.
Yeah, in general, I do use reference material, which is what this guy's doing here. Usually I have this handy dandy plastic guard on it, so I'm not getting pumpkin guts all over it, because that definitely does happen. But it's good to have just like stuff that you can cycle through. I also like to have sculptures for reference. So if I can find a sculpture of the source material, that's really helpful too, to just see something in 3D. So I'm gonna start with my peeler.
Okay. Oh, wow. Just like that.
He's a green one. Look at that. He's got veins and everything.
Surprise.
Yeah. These loop tools you can get on Amazon. You can get them at Sculptor Supply. A lot of people like Kempers because they're the sculptor's choice, but they're expensive. I have been using cheapo AliExpress ones for a long time. You can just sharpen them yourself. So I think I'm gonna go with like a angry face.
Yeah.
There's the eyeballs, no nose, and let's do an angry mouth with a couple little vampire fangs.
Yeah.
So the first thing you do is you're gonna go in with this, and the deepest part of the face, the two deepest parts of the face are right here
Okay.
and right here. But you're gonna leave this here because you want the eyes to pop out.
Right. You want them to be 3D.
Yeah.
You want dimension.
There's actually a commercial for Halloween Wars, which I can talk about now. Food Network show that I'm on as a pumpkin carver.
This season on Halloween Wars, monsters, pumpkin carvers, sugar artists, cake artists take scary to a whole other level.
It's gonna haunt me forever.
Season premiere, Halloween Wars, Sunday, September 22nd at 9 on Food Network.
Where I think I have my foot on a pumpkin. I remember the moment because I was trying to skin this thing and it kept slipping away, and I was like, I need more hands, arms. I don't know. Okay, feet, sure.
How long do these tend to last?
That is the question that I get the most, actually. They can last, like, if you baby it, if you wrap it up, put it in the fridge.
Oh.
I've gotten them to last like 2 weeks.
Okay.
But then sometimes it'll start rotting before you're even done.
Yeah.
And it'll be mush by the next morning. Cool.
So you don't want to embark on anything longer than 2 weeks before Halloween night, is what you're saying. If you want it to be looking good for your Halloween party, maybe just a couple of days before?
Yeah, a couple of days. A friend of mine did a carving like this. His other friend on the same day did a carving very much like this, but poked holes all the way through to the eyes.
Yeah.
And within a week, his was dried out, but it still looked like this. Hers was just black mold.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same kind of pumpkin, same everything. Became obsessed with Halloween at a very young age. It's actually,
Most people watching this episode are going to be like, check.
Which is actually what got me into my career of costumes.
Okay.
Halloween costumes got me into that. But from a very young age, I saw my dad start to make pumpkins differently. Like, he had these wood carving tools back in the 80s. And he was the first person that I ever saw do the pumpkin etching, like, you know, removing the skin so that the teeth were glowing or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this can be more than just triangle eyes and a little teeth or face. And then I saw the work of this really world famous pumpkin artist, Ray Villafane. And he kind of, I think he started this pumpkin sculpting idea. And that's when I switched to using loop tools. And that changed the game, like, completely. So I think I've been doing that probably 15 years now.
So you're reminding me to mention that there is a potato on the table.
Yes. The potato on the table, like the elephant in the room. No, potatoes, sometimes you can do the potato and the super glue, actually, are for add-ons. So you can actually add things onto a pumpkin. You can sculpt some little teeth, and then I like to soak them in lemon juice, which keeps them from going brown right away, because otherwise you've got some nasty-ass looking teeth, which works for zombies. And then you can glue them on with super glue, because super glue was created to glue skin together, glue wounds together.
Okay.
For like field dressing. So yeah, wet stuff to wet stuff. So that was fun.
What's some of your favorite designs that you've tackled?
I love taking inspiration from horror, from monsters, from that kind of stuff. So I think one of my very favorite is the Last of Us clicker that I did.
Cool.
That was really fun. That was a really interesting one because one of the hardest, or some of the hardest things to sculpt when you're doing a face are the eyes and the nose. And of course, that doesn't have any of it. It just has a mouth and then a mushroom. So that was really cool. I got to sculpt these organic shapes, and then I filled it in a little bit with those warty pumpkins, just sort of around the edge. So I really enjoyed that one.
So what are some designs that beginners can try? They're not quite ready to try a face. What might be easier?
Emojis are a really great one to try, and there's so many like fun options. But what I would suggest, which is the absolute like most useful thing when learning, is either a mirror or photos. Just looking at yourself in the mirror, and before you even try a face, like just try an eye or just try a mouth, and try, you know, like stupid faces, because if you can get a crazy stupid face, you can get just like a normal face. Okay, I think I'm ready to start doing some eyes. I think I'm gonna try to do some angry eyebrows there too. You really want to get the like sphericalness of the eye. So if you just deepen here and here, it gives you more of a roundness of the eye. So if you
into the eyebrows, and once again, for the sake of dimension, you're just kind of going around where you drew?
I'm actually removing the material under the eyebrow, because your eyebrow actually sticks out, right? But like
Right, it's on the crest of that brow bone, right?
Bone, yeah, is right there. So if you just remove underneath there, it looks like an eyebrow that's sticking out.
Yeah.
It becomes the brow bone. But it does really help to know a bit about the anatomy, at least the skull.
Yeah.
Just to know the parts of the anatomy that don't move.
Right.
So you know that if your mouth is going, or it's going, it's still doing that over the same basic structure.
Okay.
So
He has so much character now, just in those last little 30 seconds of detail. He's become a guy. I could do this. I could do it. I'm going to try it. You're going to try this? Oh, God, no. I meant one day. All right, here we go with the potato. We're going to use the terrifying knife.
This. Usually I'll have a bowl that has, like if I'm using potato,
Uh-huh.
a bowl that has the lemon juice in it, and I'll just let it sit for a sec.
Okay. Does potato brown faster than pumpkin? Is that why there's more concentrated lemon juice at play? Okay, so you just tore out a sliver with that tool.
Yeah, so usually I'll sculpt it. So I've got my teeny tiny potato fang.
Yes.
Usually when I do this, I wear nitrile gloves.
Oh. Nosferagud. I love him.
There
He's great.
you go.
A little spritz for preservation. Bloodstain, thank you for coming in for the demo.
Thanks so much for
I
having me.
can't wait to try this Halloween, and I hope all of you watching are going to try it too. If so, definitely tag us on Instagram, tag Bloodstain, because we want to see it. And remind us once again about the show and where we can find you online.
The show is Halloween Wars. It premieres on the Food Network, and it runs through October every Sunday at 9. You can also stream it on Discovery Plus and HBO Max.
Okay, we'll be rooting for you. And where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on TikTok at Ahead of the Carve, and you can find me on Instagram at ahead.of.the.carve, because somebody else owns Ahead of the Carve.
No! I hate when that happens.
I'm also on Facebook as Pumpkin Sculptor.
So we'll leave all of Sarah's information in the description below, where to tag your pumpkins, and I can't wait to see them. We'll see you next time.